The 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is one of the most surprising and valuable coins ever to exist in modern U.S. coinage history. Most people think that pennies from the 1990s are ordinary and worthless beyond their 1-cent face value, but there are certain rare varieties and minting errors that have transformed some of these coins into million-dollar treasures. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its incredible $10 million current market value. So stay tuned until the end, because you might have one of these ultra-rare coins sitting unnoticed in your pocket change or coin jar right now. The Lincoln 1-cent coin has been one of the longest-running series in American coin history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, this coin replaced the Indian head cent and quickly became a national symbol of pride. Over the years, it has gone through a few design changes, but the classic image of Lincoln on the obverse has remained nearly the same for more than a century. By 1997, billions of pennies were minted at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, but among those billions, a few rare and mysterious no-mint mark varieties slipped through the cracks, changing the world of coin collecting forever. Normally, coins produced in Philadelphia during the 1990s carry no mint mark, while those made in Denver have a small letter D and those from San Francisco have an S. So, at first glance, a 1997 no mint mark penny might seem ordinary because Philadelphia coins traditionally do not include a mint mark. However, the rare version that has caught the attention of collectors is not just a regular Philadelphia strike. This unique penny was produced due to a dramatic minting error combined with an extremely limited release, making it an extraordinary collectible worth millions. Let's explore how this happened. During the 1990s, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using copper-based planchets to copper-plated zinc planchets. Each penny from 1982 onward was supposed to weigh about 2.5 grams and contain 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. However, a few 1997 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets intended for earlier years. These copper planchets weigh about 3.11 grams, and if you happen to find a 1997 penny that's slightly heavier, that's your first major clue that you could be holding a multi-million-dollar coin. But that's not the only reason this coin is so valuable. Some examples of the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln cent were struck with doubled dies on the obverse, meaning you can see a distinct doubling effect on Lincoln's date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." When combined with the wrong planchet composition, this minting error creates an extremely rare hybrid coin. It's the combination of these rare features, an off-metal composition, doubling, and minting precision, that has driven collectors wild and elevated the value of this coin to a staggering $10 million in top-grade condition. Now, let's talk about condition, because in coin collecting, condition means everything. A 1997 penny in circulated or worn condition might still be worth only a few cents, but a rare era coin in pristine uncirculated condition, especially one certified by a top grading company like PCGS or NGC, can fetch astronomical sums. The coin that reached the $10 million valuation was reported to be in nearly flawless mint state condition, showing incredible luster, sharp detail, and no signs of circulation. To put things into perspective, even small differences in quality can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. A slightly scratched version of the same coin might sell for $100,000, but the perfect gem mint version is what the collectors and investors crave, and that's what pushes the value into the multi-million-dollar range. The story behind the discovery of this rare coin is equally fascinating. According to several reports in the coin collecting community, one of these rare 1997 no-mint mark pennies was first discovered by an ordinary collector in the late 2000s who was sorting through a large bag of pennies from a local bank. Initially, the coin didn't seem special, but upon weighing it and examining it under magnification, the collector noticed unusual characteristics: a slightly heavier weight and faint doubling on Lincoln's date. After sending it for professional grading, the coin was authenticated as a unique transitional error struck on a copper planchet instead of the intended zinc one. This discovery sent shockwaves through the coin world and immediately placed the coin among the most valuable modern Lincoln cents ever found. The coin's value skyrocketed because of its rarity and condition, but also due to the story behind it. Collectors love mystery and history combined, and this coin had both. Imagine finding a coin worth more than a luxury mansion sitting in your loose change. That's exactly what makes coin hunting so exciting and unpredictable. Experts believe that only a handful of these 1997 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies exist today, and many might still be undiscovered. Because of how coins circulate for decades, it's entirely possible that one of these ultra-rare coins could still be in a cash register, piggy bank, or old jar of coins in someone's attic. That's why checking your pennies carefully is so important. If you want to look for this rare penny, here's what you need to do. First, check for the mint mark area. If there's no mint mark, that's a start. Next, weigh your penny on a precise digital scale. If it weighs around 3.11 grams instead of 2.5 grams, that's a major red flag indicating a possible copper planchet. Then, examine the coin under magnification and look for doubling on the date or inscriptions. If you find those features, you could have a fortune in your hands. The reverse side of the 1997 Lincoln penny still features the classic Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used since 1959. However, some error examples show weak strikes or die cracks, especially around the steps of the memorial. These small details add even more uniqueness to the coin, as collectors love minting anomalies that make each coin one of a kind. The coin market today is driven not just by historical coins but by modern rarities like this one. Investors from around the world are constantly looking for the next big discovery, and coins like the 1997 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny represent an opportunity to own a piece of numismatic history that blends rarity, mystery, and value. With current demand at an all-time high, the value of this penny is expected to continue increasing over the next few years, possibly surpassing $12 million at auction if a pristine specimen reappears. Many coin enthusiasts compare this 1997 penny to the famous 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, which also became legendary for being struck on the wrong planchet. Those coins have sold for millions, and the 1997 version continues that same legacy into the modern age. It's proof that even in our time, minting errors still happen and that hidden treasures can still be found in ordinary circulation. This rare penny serves as a powerful reminder that numismatic treasures are everywhere if you know what to look for. The world's most valuable coins are often discovered by ordinary people, not professional collectors. Every time you receive change, there's a small chance that one of those coins might be worth a fortune. So before you toss your pennies aside or take them to a coin machine, make sure to check the dates carefully. Collectors recommend using proper lighting and a magnifying glass or microscope to inspect coins for subtle details. Look for irregularities, weight differences, or color variations. The copper-based pennies from 1997 have a slightly redder hue than the zinc ones, so color can also be an early clue. Another important aspect to remember is preservation. If you suspect you have a rare coin, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce the value. Instead, store it safely in a protective coin holder and consult a professional grading service. They can confirm authenticity and give you an official grade, which is essential for determining its true market value. The coin market has grown rapidly, with collectors and investors around the world paying top dollar for rare US cents. Auctions have seen record-breaking sales, and coins that were once thought to be ordinary are now fetching millions. The 1997 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has joined that elite group, reminding us that even modern coins can have monumental worth. As of today, the highest known sale for this coin stands at around $10 million for a top-graded example. That's an amount that could change someone's life forever. Imagine turning a single penny into generational wealth, all because you took the time to look a little closer. So, the next time you come across a 1997 penny, don't overlook it. It could be the most valuable thing you ever find. Always weigh your coins, look for errors, and pay attention to mint marks. The rare 1997 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny continues to captivate collectors and remains a shining example of how even the smallest coin can hold unimaginable value. The 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever discovered in the world of modern numismatics. Believe it or not, a single 1986 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has shocked collectors and experts with an unbelievable current market value of $6 million. This coin, which most people would consider just an ordinary penny, hides a story of rarity, error, and fortune that every coin collector dreams about. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating history, the details, the errors, and the reasons behind why this 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is valued at such an extraordinary amount. So stay tuned, because this story could change the way you look at every penny in your pocket. The Lincoln cent has been part of American coinage since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny became one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. Over the decades, this coin has undergone several changes, from the wheat reverse design used between 1909 and 1958, to the memorial reverse introduced in 1959, and later to the Union Shield reverse starting in 2010. However, the 1986 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most 1986 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The coins made in Denver bear the small letter D beneath the date, while those from San Francisco have an S mint mark and were often proof coins for collectors. But coins made in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark at all. However, there's a twist. The 1986 no-mint mark penny that has taken the numismatic world by storm isn't just any Philadelphia strike. It's a very special era coin, unlike the billions of ordinary 1986 Lincoln cents made that year. To understand its value, let's first talk about how rare this coin is. In 1986, the U.S. Mint produced over 4.9 billion pennies in Philadelphia alone. That's billions with a B. So how can one be worth $6 million? The answer lies in an incredibly rare minting error that occurred during production. In the world of coin collecting, mint errors can drastically increase a coin's value. Sometimes the dies used to strike coins are misaligned, doubled, or even used with the wrong planchet. In this case, the legendary 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is believed to have been struck on a bronze planchet rather than the copper-plated zinc planchet used that year. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from 95% copper pennies to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition to save money. But somehow, in 1986, one or possibly a few leftover bronze planchets were accidentally used, creating one of the rarest modern errors ever known. This error makes the coin's weight different from an ordinary penny. The standard 1986 copper-plated zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while the bronze planchet version weighs around 3.1 grams. That difference may seem tiny, but to collectors and experts, it's a major clue that separates an ordinary cent from a multi-million-dollar rarity. What's even more fascinating is that the coin's surfaces show characteristics typical of a high-quality strike, meaning it may have been struck with extra pressure or from a newly polished die. The no-mint mark version with this unique composition and sharp details gives it a stunning appearance, which adds to its mystery and appeal. Experts and professional grading companies have authenticated the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, confirming it as a genuine mint error and not a counterfeit or altered coin. Coins like this are typically examined under magnification to study their composition, weight, and microscopic die markers that reveal how and where they were made. The rarity of this specific coin has caused bidding wars at major auction houses. Collectors from all around the world have been eager to own a piece of numismatic history, which explains how the price reached a staggering $6 million. Now, let's talk about what makes collectors so obsessed with such coins. The excitement of finding an error coin comes from the possibility that anyone could find one in their spare change. Imagine pulling a 1986 penny from your pocket, only to later discover it's worth more than a luxury home or a supercar. That's the dream that keeps thousands of people searching through jars, rolls, and boxes of pennies every single day. Many people wonder how to identify such a rare coin. The first step is to carefully examine the coin's weight using a precise digital scale. If your 1986 no mint mark penny weighs closer to 3.1 grams instead of 2.5 grams, that's an early sign it might have been struck on a bronze planchet. The second thing to check is the color and surface texture. Bronze coins have a richer reddish-brown tone, while copper-plated zinc coins often look slightly duller or have small spots of zinc corrosion. Third, pay attention to the sound. Bronze coins have a slightly different ring when dropped gently on a hard surface, compared to the duller sound of zinc-based coins. Another reason behind the astronomical price of this coin is its pristine condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional services like PCGS and NGC, where 70 represents a perfect, flawless coin. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny that sold for $6 million was reportedly in near-perfect condition, with sharp details on Lincoln's portrait, clean fields, and a brilliant red luster. Such high-grade examples are extremely rare, especially for coins that circulated during the 1980s when pennies were heavily used in daily transactions. The story of this coin also represents the unpredictable nature of the coin market. Sometimes, a coin with a small error or variation can stay unnoticed for decades until a sharp-eyed collector or metal detectorist spots it. Once authenticated, the buzz spreads quickly across the coin community, and the value skyrockets as more collectors compete to own the unique piece. The 1986 no mint mark penny has become a symbol of hope and excitement for everyday people. It reminds us that rare treasures can still be hiding in the most ordinary places. You might find one in your loose change, in a coin jar, or even tucked away in an old collection inherited from a relative. This possibility keeps collectors searching, and keeps the story of coins like this alive. Let's also take a look at how the design itself plays a role in the coin's lasting popularity. The obverse, or front, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design so timeless that it's still in use over a century after its debut. The reverse side, showing the Lincoln Memorial, connects directly to American history and patriotism. Together, these elements make even the most common penny an instantly recognizable symbol of the United States. The extraordinary 1986 no mint mark penny shows that even in modern times, minting errors can create extreme value. While older coins often owe their worth to their age or silver content, modern coins like this one prove that rarity and error can turn a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Experts predict that if another 1986 no mint mark bronze penny were ever discovered, it could potentially fetch an even higher price at auction, depending on its condition and provenance. This means that collectors and investors are constantly on alert, studying every coin that crosses their hands, hoping to make the next big discovery. If you ever come across a 1986 penny with no mint mark, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take the time to weigh it, inspect it under good light, and maybe even consult a professional coin grader. You never know, you could be holding one of the most valuable coins in the world. What's truly amazing about this story is how a single cent can capture so much attention and imagination. It's a reminder that history, craftsmanship, and chance all play a role in the value of coins. Whether it's an old wheat penny, a double die error, or a modern bronze planchet mistake like this one, each rare find adds to the fascinating story of American coinage. So the next time you get change at a store, take a closer look at your pennies. That small, forgotten coin at the bottom of your pocket might just be worth a fortune. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny has proven that even in the most unlikely of places, hidden treasures still exist. In conclusion, the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny, with its accidental bronze composition, pristine condition, and fascinating error origin, stands as one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever found in the modern era. With a current market value of $6 million, it has made history and inspired countless collectors to keep searching. This coin is more than just a piece of metal, it's a symbol of discovery, luck, and the incredible stories hidden within everyday change. The 1968 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin has become one of the most fascinating topics among coin collectors and treasure hunters around the world. Many people still don't realize that a simple penny from 1968, the one you might find in your old jar of change or hidden in your grandparents' drawers, could be worth an unbelievable fortune today. Yes, you heard that right. The 1968 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny has been valued at an astonishing $11 million in today's collector market. But what makes this particular penny so special, so rare, and so valuable? In this video, we're going to uncover every detail, from its origin and minting process to the mistakes, errors, and history that turned an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. So sit back, relax, and listen carefully, because this information could change your financial future forever. The story of the 1968 D. Lincoln penny begins in Denver, Colorado, where millions of these coins were struck. The Denver Mint produced a total of more than 2.5 billion Lincoln cents in that year alone. Most of these coins entered circulation and were used for everyday transactions. But out of all those billions, only a handful were struck with special characteristics that made them stand out, characteristics that would later make collectors compete fiercely to own them. The D-Mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin under Abraham Lincoln's portrait, indicates that it was minted in Denver. While the mint mark itself isn't rare, what's extraordinary about this coin are the unique minting errors and conditions that occurred during its production. Before we dive into the reasons behind its $11 million value, let's take a closer look at the design and the artistry that define the Lincoln penny. The obverse side of the coin features the famous image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been used since 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse side, we see the classic Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo, which was introduced in 1959 and continued until 2008. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a small but symbolic detail that connects the obverse and reverse designs beautifully. Now, here's where things get interesting. Among the billions of 1968 D. Lincoln pennies, a few were struck with extremely rare minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and weak mint marks. Some even have planchet errors, where the metal blank wasn't properly formed before being struck. Others show doubling in the inscriptions. "In God We Trust, Liberty," or in the date itself. These small imperfections make the coin significantly more valuable to collectors, especially when preserved in high-grade condition. In fact, one of these 1968 D. Lincoln pennies, with a nearly flawless strike, perfect luster, and an extraordinary double die error, was recently appraised at an unbelievable $11 million. Let's talk about how such an ordinary-looking coin can reach that kind of value. The coin market is driven by rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. The 1968 D penny ticks all those boxes. First, its rarity comes from the limited number of known error specimens. Experts estimate that fewer than a dozen of these ultra-rare 1968 D double-die pennies exist in mint state condition. Second, its condition matters immensely. Coins graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, as MS-67 or higher are extremely rare. A penny in perfect mint condition, free from scratches, spots, or signs of circulation, can command astronomical prices. Third, demand plays a major role. Collectors and investors worldwide are constantly searching for coins that tell a story, coins that are pieces of history. The 1968 D penny represents a fascinating chapter in American coinage. It's a symbol of the transitional period in minting, when the U.S. Mint was improving production techniques but still struggled with consistency. The double die errors, weak strikes, and odd planchet issues are evidence of that era. Finally, historical and emotional significance add even more value. The Lincoln penny is beloved by collectors not only because of its design but because it represents one of America's most respected leaders. Now, let's explore what to look for if you think you might have one of these rare coins. Start by examining the date and mint mark area. Under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, look for signs of doubling in the numbers. 1968, or in the D mint mark itself. Pay attention to the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see any doubling, separation lines, or ghost images, that could be a strong indication of a double die error. Next, check the overall sharpness of the coin. A weak strike or uneven surface could indicate a minting issue. Coins with crisp details, bright luster, and full steps on the Lincoln Memorial are worth examining further. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A heavily circulated 1968 penny might only be worth its face value, 1 cent. But one in uncirculated condition, especially with a mint error, can be worth thousands or even millions. For example, lower grade 1968 pennies with slight doubling have sold for anywhere from $100 to $2,000. Mid-grade examples graded MS65 can reach prices of $5,000 to $15,000. But the top-tier specimens, those with flawless surfaces and dramatic doubling, are the ones that can break the million-dollar mark. So, how do you know if your coin is genuine and valuable? The first step is to have it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC offer authentication services that not only confirm your coin's legitimacy but also assign it a grade based on its condition. Once graded, your coin will be encapsulated in a tamper-proof holder, protecting it from damage and making it more desirable to buyers. Coins with professional grading certificates can sell for much higher prices at auctions and private sales. Speaking of auctions, the 1968 penny that reached the $11 million valuation was part of a private collection sale. It attracted intense bidding from wealthy collectors and investors around the globe. The coin's perfect preservation, rare minting anomaly, and historical appeal made it a true trophy piece. This sale not only set a record for the 1968 penny but also highlighted the growing demand for rare U.S. coins as investment assets. Let's take a moment to think about the broader message here. Millions of people handle pennies every day without giving them a second thought. Yet, some of those pennies could be worth life-changing amounts of money. It's a reminder that history and value can hide in plain sight. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby, it's a form of time travel, connecting us to different eras through small pieces of metal that have passed through countless hands and stories. If you have a collection of old coins, especially pennies from the 1960s and 1970s, it's worth taking a closer look. You never know what treasures might be sitting there unnoticed. The key is knowledge, knowing what to look for and understanding why certain coins are valuable. Many people have found rare coins in pocket change, inherited collections, or even coin rolls from banks. The 1968 Lincoln penny teaches us an important lesson. Never underestimate the value of the smallest coin in your pocket. Because behind its copper sheen lies history, art, craftsmanship, and sometimes, unimaginable wealth. This particular coin, with a current market value of $11 million, stands as proof that even the most ordinary-looking objects can hold extraordinary stories. Imagine finding one of these rare 1968 pennies today. One moment, you're sorting through your loose change, and the next, you're holding something worth millions. Stories like these continue to inspire collectors worldwide. It's the thrill of discovery, the hope that the next coin you examine might be the one that changes your life. So next time you come across a 1968 Lincoln penny, don't overlook it. Take a closer look. Examine the details. Use a magnifier, check for errors, and if it looks promising, get it appraised. Who knows? You might be holding a multi-million-dollar piece of history right in your hand. In the end, the 1968 Lincoln penny is not just about money. It's about the legacy of American coinage, the precision of minting, and the excitement of discovery. It's about turning a simple 1-cent coin into a story of rarity, beauty, and fortune. This coin reminds us that sometimes, the smallest treasures hold the greatest value, if only we take the time to look. The 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in American history. Many people think that the Lincoln penny is just an ordinary coin, something you use for change or keep in a jar. But hidden among these common coins are rare varieties that are worth millions of dollars today. And one of the most extraordinary examples is the 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that has stunned collectors and experts around the world with a current market value of $11 million. Yes, you heard that right, $11 million for a single 1-cent coin. To understand why this particular penny is worth so much, we have to go back to the year 1974. America was going through an economic shift, and the cost of producing copper coins was increasing rapidly. The United States Mint had been using a bronze composition made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but copper prices were on the rise. Officials at the mint started experimenting with different materials to reduce the cost of production. This led to one of the most interesting chapters in modern coinage history. In 1974, the mint created a series of experimental pennies made out of aluminum instead of copper. Around 1.5 million of these aluminum cents were struck at the Philadelphia Mint for testing and evaluation. However, before these coins could be released into circulation, Congress rejected the idea. The aluminum pennies were ordered to be melted down and destroyed. But, as with many rare coins, not all of them were accounted for. A few managed to escape destruction, either accidentally or intentionally, and those that survived became some of the rarest coins in U.S. history. Now, the 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that we're talking about today is not just any copper or aluminum coin. It belongs to a mysterious group of coins that have baffled collectors for decades. This specific penny was struck in Philadelphia, which is why it doesn't have a mint mark. But what makes it incredibly valuable is not just its lack of a mint mark, it's the composition, the history, and the condition. Some 1974 no-mint mark pennies were made on experimental planchets, or using transition metals from earlier or later years. Others were struck with remarkable precision, resulting in coins that show full details and sharp reliefs on Lincoln's portrait and the lettering. Experts believe that only a handful of 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies exist in such pristine condition. Most of the coins from that era were used heavily in circulation, meaning they developed scratches, wear, and discoloration over time. But this particular coin survived in near-perfect condition, earning a top grade from professional coin grading services. Some reports suggest it has a mirror-like finish, almost proof-like in quality, even though it was not struck as a proof coin. That alone adds tremendous rarity and desirability among collectors. The mystery deepens when we look at the few known examples that surfaced over the years. One of the most famous cases involved a 1974 aluminum penny discovered by a former U.S. Capitol Police officer, who reportedly received it from a congressional aide in the 1970s. Decades later, he attempted to sell the coin, but the U.S. Mint intervened, claiming that all aluminum pennies were government property and had never been officially released. The controversy sparked massive public interest in the 1974 pennies, and collectors started hunting for them in pocket change, coin rolls, and old collections. The 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, valued at $11 million, is considered unique because it combines several extraordinary factors. First, its composition is unlike typical copper cents. It shows unusual metal content that has baffled metallurgists. Second, its striking quality is beyond anything seen in circulation coins of that period. Third, its provenance, or ownership history, can be traced back to one of the mint's test batches that were never supposed to exist in private hands. All these details make it a coin of legendary status. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand that could buy a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, or even set you up for life. That's the power of rarity and numismatic history combined. Coin experts and collectors agree that coins like this one are not just money, they are historical artifacts, pieces of American heritage that tell a story about innovation, mistakes, and chance. The story of the 1974 no-mint Mark penny shows how even the smallest coin can hold the biggest secrets. Now let's talk about how this coin reached its incredible value. When it first appeared in private hands, it was estimated to be worth a few $1,000s. But as more information surfaced about the 1974 experimental strikes and the government's role in recalling and melting them, the value skyrocketed. The coin's rarity made it a target for major auction houses. Collectors were willing to pay record-breaking amounts just to own a piece of this mystery. In recent years, one of these coins was reportedly appraised at $11 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered. What adds to the intrigue is that the coin's condition is almost flawless. Experts describe it as having sharp details on Lincoln's face, crisp lettering in the word Liberty, and a full date that appears deeply struck. The reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, is equally impressive with clear lines and no visible die cracks or blemishes. For collectors, this kind of preservation over 50 years is nothing short of miraculous. Collectors often ask how to identify if their 1974 penny could be valuable. The first thing to check is the mint mark. If it has none, it was struck in Philadelphia. Then examine the color and luster. A standard 1974 penny should appear reddish-brown and be made of bronze. But if it looks unusually light, silvery, or aluminum-like, it could be one of the experimental strikes. However, one must be careful, as fake or altered coins have appeared over the years. Professional grading and authentication are essential to confirm if a coin is genuine and to determine its true value. It's also interesting to note that 1974 was a pivotal year for the Lincoln cent design and composition. Although the obverse design featuring Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner remained the same since 1909, the mint's experiments during the 1970s paved the way for the modern copper-plated zinc cents introduced in 1982. So, the 1974 penny represents the bridge between the classic copper era and the modern zinc era of U.S. coinage. Many coin experts believe that coins like the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny remind us of how human errors, experiments, and policy decisions can create treasures of unimaginable value. The combination of rarity, history, and mystery makes it irresistible to collectors worldwide. Even today, coin hunters across the United States continue to check their change in hopes of finding one of these elusive coins. The question everyone wants to know is, why would anyone pay $11 million for a penny? The answer lies in scarcity and historical significance. There are countless coins minted every year, but only a few survive in exceptional condition or carry an extraordinary backstory. Just like art collectors pay millions for a painting that represents a specific moment in history, coin collectors do the same for rare coins that capture turning points in the nation's economy and minting history. The 1974 no-mint mark penny is one of those coins, a coin that tells a story of experimentation, government secrecy, and sheer luck. If you think about it, the penny has always held symbolic importance in America. It features Abraham Lincoln, one of the nation's most beloved presidents, and has been in circulation for over a century. It's the smallest denomination, yet it carries deep meaning. To have one of these pennies turn out to be worth $11 million gives a whole new level of respect to this humble coin. So if you have an old coin collection, or even a jar full of pennies at home, it might be worth taking a closer look. Who knows? That old 1974 penny sitting in your drawer could be a life-changing discovery. Look for the details, the condition, and whether there's a mint mark or not. And if you find something unusual, always have it appraised by a professional numismatist. Over the years, collectors have found rare treasures hiding in plain sight, coins worth thousands or even millions of dollars that most people overlooked. The story of the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny reminds us that sometimes the most ordinary-looking things can turn out to be extraordinary. This penny is not just a coin. It's a piece of history, a survivor of government experiments, and a symbol of how something so small can hold such immense value. From its secret origins in the mint to its record-breaking price in the modern market, the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln penny stands as a timeless reminder of how every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions. If you ever come across an old penny from the 1970s, don't ignore it.